Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another GTA Online video. My name is SaintsFan, and today I wanted to show you guys the secret and hidden turbo feature that can be put or found on the brand new sports car. Last week, Rockstar added the IMorgon Sports Car to the game, and it's actually it's a pretty unique vehicle. Now, ultimately, in my review video of it, I mentioned that it's probably not worth the $2.1 million you have to spend to get it. Although, now knowing that it has this secret turbo feature, it makes that price tag a little bit more reasonable. It's still a little crazy, $2.1 million for a sports car, but I will say this turbo feature actually makes this sports car the second best in its class for racing. So if you are into racing and if you want a vehicle, a sports vehicle that is really competitive in racing, that isn't the pariah, which unfortunately just smokes every other sports car, then this is going to be a video that you want to follow. Now, Rockstar, for whatever reason, on certain vehicles, they have hidden features on them. For example, I'll actually take this car, the IMorgon. There's a way to actually remove the spoiler. There's a hidden no spoiler option. And the reason I say it's hidden is because the only way you can access it or to get it is by glitching the car, or like if you're on PC, you can just go into single player, mod it in, and then you can remove the spoiler, like it's an option. But in online, there isn't an option. So it's hidden because Rockstar made an option, but they don't allow us to legitimately remove it. It's really weird. And this happens on a number of different other vehicles. But normally these hidden options and features are just purely cosmetic. But on this IMorgon, there's actually the hidden turbo feature. Because if we take a look, if we go to the custom shop and we go through all the customization options, you can see it's got everything except once we get towards the end, there is no turbo option, which I don't know, might make sense maybe because of the way this vehicle is. Like if they're trying to be more realistic, I don't know much about cars, so maybe that's the reason they didn't include the turbo option in online, but that doesn't necessarily mean it isn't there. So obviously you're asking yourself, well, how do I get this turbo feature if it's not in online? Well, the unfortunate part is that you are going to need a phone with the iFruit app. It's relatively simple to set up. It just takes a little while because it's Rockstar, and of course, nothing goes quickly with them. So go to the App Store, whatever phone you're on, iPhone or Android, download the iFruit app, sign into your account, and then from there, on the home screen of the iFruit app, you'll see there's 4 separate vehicles. You have the 3 characters from online, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, and at the bottom, you have your online account. Mine, SaintsFanYT, and you can see there's a couple of different cars here. Now, I believe this app shows the last 9 vehicles you've purchased. I don't know if there's a way to fix that or to change that, but I will just scroll through, and the 9th car, because I guess it's my most recent purchase, is the IMorgon. And of course, we're going to go into it. And this is where we can actually change some different things. You can pretty much edit it fully in here. What I'm going to do, because I ended up changing the color of the rims, so I'm going to actually change them back to stock, and that, you'll see in a second, will actually give the stock rims a painted color. So that's kind of an extra little thing you can do on this vehicle. But we're just going to scroll all the way down until we see turbo. So even though the turbo was missing from the custom shop and online, it isn't missing here. And it's as simple as clicking it, choosing it, and then hitting order. Now, if it's your first time, you may have to do some weird stuff with the license plate. I don't know. It kind of took me a minute to figure out, but I eventually got it. And then I think the thing sort of like tells you, it's like, you just got to pick it, and then you hit back, I think, a few times, and then you have to hit the order button again. Once you hit the order button, it'll like ask you to confirm it, and it'll put the order sent, and you can see how much it'll cost. For me, it cost 60 grand because I think bought like a couple other things. But from here, we're simply going to go back into GTA Online, and in like a couple of seconds, you'll notice that you'll get a text message from, I guess, the custom shop, and it'll say to go to the Los Santos Customs to fill your order. So that's simply what we're going to do. We're going to go to LSC, and once we get inside, we're just going to confirm the order, and now our vehicle has turbo. Now, it is hard to really see what the difference is between not having turbo and having turbo. Now, in the app, you'll actually notice when you click the turbo option, the speed actually goes up, and that is one thing that I'll demonstrate here in a minute. But I do just want to point out that by putting turbo on this vehicle, you're not like curing all its faults. It definitely still doesn't have a good top speed, but the turbo does help. It makes it less bad. So I'm going to take it back into single player just because it's easier. And we're going to do a side-by-side test. And there's two things to notice in the side-by-side comparison. On the left, we have it with turbo, and on the right, we have it without turbo. The first thing, if you can kind of see the top speed, the turbo actually gets a couple of numbers higher. I believe we got up to about 123 with the turbo, where without the turbo, we only got to about 119. And then ultimately in the end, you'll see that on the left with the turbo finishes a significant amount sooner than without the turbo. So if you are one of the people who purchase this vehicle, I would highly recommend adding turbo because of the added speed increase. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, for people who do racing, there's been a number of different testers that have put these things through its paces regarding racing. And in pretty much all of them, this new vehicle with the turbo ended up being like the second or third best sports car for racing. And that's like regular racing, not stunt racing. Stunt racing, this isn't going to be a good car because stunt racing is more about top speed. But regular racing, that's where like the acceleration and the quickness actually matters. And that's what this car excels at. Obviously, again, number one is that Pariah. Nothing's topping that ever. But for a good close second or third, this new iMorgan with the turbo makes things real close. And you could almost potentially justify that $2 million price tag when you look at it along those lines. Now, of course, in the comment section, let me know, does this change anything? Like, knowing that now maybe this is one of the top super or sports cars for racing, are you going to go out and buy it if you didn't? Maybe what I would suggest is still waiting like a week or two. Usually with some of these lesser popular cars, Rockstar put pretty big discounts on them relatively quickly. So maybe in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you might be seeing this vehicle at 30, 35, 40% off, which, I mean, that would almost be a steal at that price. But maybe if you have a ton of money and you're looking to spend it, honestly, the iMorgan, the more I use it, I know I hated it really at first, but the more I do use it, especially now with this turbo, I am starting to like it more and more. And I don't know if it is just sort of like, you know, placebo effect, but when I was driving it in single player with turbo, it did feel like I was going, or I got places a lot quicker. Like it felt, you can maybe see with the top speed, driving it around through the city, it seems like, it felt like to me, it was a pretty significant bump up compared to driving it with no turbo. Maybe that's just like in my mind, but it does seem that little minor difference in top speed helps a lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and hopefully you guys check this out and use, you know, the best possible version of this vehicle. It's unfortunate, and it's honestly kind of stupid how Rockstar, it's like included in the vehicle, but they don't allow you to do it legitimately, or at least easily, because the iFruit app is legitimate. It's just very strange nonetheless. But thank you all for watching. This is going to do it for this video. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more GTA Online content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.